In 2021, Minister Hackett put out a call for one-year farm biodiversity projects, which would help farmers and land managers deliver for biodiversity.
These Agri-European Innovation Partnership projects, commonly called EIPs, are funded by the EU Recovery Funding 2014 to 2022 and administered by the Department of Agriculture, Food and the Marine. Talamh Beo, the name translates to living ground, is a member-led organisation representing farmers and citizens who support food sovereignty and agroecology. The operational group submitted a successful application addressing soil biodiversity. As farmers, we understand that soil is where farming starts, and that healthy soil makes for healthy, nutrient-dense plants and animals, which in turn make for healthy, nutrient-dense food.
Healthy soils provide a range of vital functions beyond producing food, fuel and fibre. They allow for water infiltration, allowing rain to filter through the water table. They mitigate both floods and droughts. They also sequester and store carbon. They are the foundation of healthy ecosystems and habitats for biodiversity. Unfortunately, ecosystems in Ireland, like those globally, are physically degraded. Soils are biologically degraded and depleted of organic matter. In places we no longer have soil, but dirt. The increasing use of chemical fertilisers over the last 50 years, combined with compaction from large-scale machinery and land management practices, has had a negative effect on soil ecology, above and below ground biodiversity, and in many cases the health of wider ecosystems, in particular water courses.
All ecosystems are interconnected and interdependent, and nobody is better placed to observe the changes and impacts from different practices and weather conditions than farmers in their ecosystems. Regular walks provide an unparalleled source of observational analysis and local knowledge. We know that it is farmers themselves who are best placed to make decisions on how to improve and augment the health of their soils. To make informed decisions, farmers need information. We need to learn from our land use and management practices and have the capacity to share the results of our decisions with one another. This meant we needed to understand the soil and realise how the choices we make in the management of our land can diminish or enhance this biodiversity. So Talamh Beo designed a project where farmers took an active role in building a better understanding of soil in all its complexity, especially below ground biological activity. Farmers designed the project, farmers implemented the project, and farmers are continuing with the journey after the project formally ends. From start to finish, the approach was, let us show you what we as farmers can do.
We chose 16 farms from across Ireland. The different farms reflect different ecosystems in different water catchment areas. We chose different land use practices: horticulture, tillage, pasture, poultry, hill grazing, orchards and dairy. We chose different soil types and conditions. Some were in poor condition from overgrazing or compaction, some are under conventional best practice, and some are regenerative or long-term organic. We put the project under a gender mainstreaming lens and ensured all our farmers were able to engage and participate equally, and that all roles in the farm were acknowledged and valued. Our operational group, responsible for implementing and overseeing the project, and our participating farmers are 50-50 identifying male-female.
Participating farmers got to choose between two courses provided by leaders in the field. Nicole Masters Foundation and Masters Class, and Elaine Ingham's Certified Lab Tech Programme. The 2-year CLP course included 63 lectures on the soil food web, making biocomplete compost, making liquid amendments from biocomplete compost and microscopy, as well as an 18-lecture permaculture course. Each participant also received a microscope with an 18 megapixel camera, Successful completion of the course leaves participants certified to biologically assess their soils, literally having a real-life biological laboratory in their field.
Each participating farm chose a trial plot on their land. Chemical and biological soil samples were taken to create a baseline so we could quantify the impact of our amendments and innovations. We recognise that for most of our farms it will take more time than we have in a 1-year scope to see results, but we now have documented a starting point and we have measurable data to work with. We also conducted soil stability tests and soil health checks, including earthworm counts. We made above and below ground observations and we measured soil temperature. Based on these results, physical innovations were selected to assist with different issues, for example on compacted soils or soils depleted of organic matter. Maurice will show us here his termination of a cover crop.
Well, this is us terminating the cover crop. So these cover crops, they've got mustard that's shed all of its seeds, and some radishes. These guys have been feeding the ground, pumping nice exudates down into it and making the soil nice and friable, protecting it from compaction from the heavy rain over the winter.
Niall has put in multi-species swards and is looking at how to establish the swards in a manner which causes the least compaction.
Richard and Eleanor are long-time organic tillage farmers, now learning about the livestock beneath their feet and how to improve its health. Sinead and Mick concentrate on healthy, diverse organic fields to feed their micro-dairy cows.
Thomas is our fungi man. His experiment was to spread inoculated wood chips into his orchard to increase the fungal mass in his soils.
Breda and her father Sean decided to stop using artificial fertiliser in their trial area to see if this, together with treating their slurry with a biological agent that promotes aerobic decomposition, would have a beneficial effect on the biology in the field.
Conan chose a field that is severely compacted and has planted trees with roots that he inoculated with beneficial mycorrhizal fungi. Tree roots can go deeper, breaking through the compacted soil layers and improve the infiltration of water and oxygen.
Fergal Anderson chose a field which has been in horticulture production for 6 years. His experiment was to direct transplant pumpkins into cereal rye residues to reduce tillage and promote a better fungal bacterial balance.
Bridgie concentrated on feeding the biodiversity in her trial field. She used composted sheep manure, hay mulch and nettle and comfrey teas.
Ger milks 180 dairy cows in West Cork. He chose a 6-acre mixed species test field. He reduced his chemical nitrogen application from 150 kg to 30 kg on this test plot and compared the tonnage of dry matter produced to what was produced on his control plot.
Fergal Smith trialled different spread rates of granulated lime to flocculate his clays. He is also using trees to introduce more air and break up his compacted soil.
Denise is perfecting making biocomplete compost and testing for success with her microscope.
Joanne is remediating a fruit garden planted up with fruit trees and soft fruit suffering from compaction. She hopes to use it as an example to others of how to fix poor compacted soil in marginal land.
Maurice is experimenting with biologically inoculating seeds to kickstart the interaction between seed and soil. Matt built a Johnson Sioux bioreactor to create compost.
Mimi and Owen work a mixed farm, integrating multiple animal and plant species to feed each other and the soil.
Tommy concentrated on improving the fertility of the clay soil in a horticulture field using hay mulch and cover crops.
Physical innovations were trialled and documented by farmers, and their experiences were discussed and shared in 10 knowledge transfer group meetings and on farm walks. It was in the farm walks where the real learning and connections were made. Some sessions focused on learning how to use and getting practice with the microscopes. By this time next year, we should see a new batch of lab tech farmers certified and analysing their fields and making amendments in real time. Our farmers will host farm walks next year and continue to be lighthouse farmers, sharing their learnings from the trials and their knowledge and insight about soil.
Anyone wanting to follow the individual farmers' trials can go to Talamh Beo's website at talamhbeo.ie and look under the Soil EIP project tab. We will leave you with Joanne and Milo to sum up the experience.
Hello there, Joanne and Milo here from Organic Gardens in northwest Donegal. We're delighted to be one of the lighthouse farms with the Talamh Beo EIP Biodiversity and Soil Literacy programme. Here we grow our own food and educate our local community on using permaculture principles and the knowledge that we gain from our own education and experience. As we are passionate about our soil here, this course has allowed us to see firsthand the reasons why we need to protect our soils in today's current climate. It has given us a real insight as to what is possible around the country and to raise our awareness on biodiversity that we need to protect below our feet.
In starting this course, we have started to inoculate our soils with mycorrhizal fungi to improve our soil structure. This also has improved our biodiversity above and below ground.
We have also been learning about the correct ways to make a good biocomplete compost and to add the fertility back into our soil in a cyclical manner.
We have learned that the better our soil biodiversity is, the more nutritious and healthy our crops will be, and also the ecosystem in which our crops thrive in.
With the everyday pressures that the farming community faces, the knowledge that we have learnt on soil life and the opportunity to study with other farmers around the country is so valuable to us. Soil health is in dire need of our help, and no matter how small, for us to do nothing is no longer an option.